Well, the average college student has about $37,000 in student loans once they graduate, but that doesn't have to be your story. Let's get fiscally fit.
What up, yo?
Basically make your head explode.
Listen with caution.
Well, earlier this year, Forbes reported that the total outstanding student loan debt in this country is around $1.5 trillion. That's trillion with a T, and that has the average college graduate walking away from school with about $37,000 in student loans. Now, both of these values represent all-time highs, and we're in this crisis situation when it comes with student loans. That's why we have a lot of pandering politicians peddling free product as if someone really believes it's free. I guess there are some gullible people out there that believe that it's free, but those of us who are working hard know better. Now, for those of us who are trying to get fiscally fit and be responsible with our money, listen, we treat student loan debt as we would any other type of debt. Debt is the enemy of financial peace, and so we attack it. We roll that into our debt snowball, and we knock it out as quickly as possible. Now, for those of you who are considering taking out a student loan, or those of you out there who have children that are considering going off to school, we got some tips for you where you can avoid student debt altogether. That should be your goal. Don't become part of the norm. Normal's broke, as Dave Ramsey says, and we want to be abnormal in this regard so that you set your student up for ultimate success as they get their degree and don't have the baggage and bondage of debt that goes along with it. So we'll start with this positive and good news. It is possible to get a college degree without going into debt with student loans. It's possible. It's hard work, but it's possible. Here's some tips for being able to do that. First thing is look for grants and scholarship opportunities. I definitely suggest that parents have their children start applying for scholarships as early as maybe their junior year, depending on the scholarship, may give you a timeline for how to proceed with the application. But definitely be putting in those scholarships ahead of time to open yourself up to as much funding as possible. Research them online. We have beautiful databases available. They give you a bunch of information. Certainly, you can look for other types of grants out there, maybe military-based funding. There could be some crowdfunding. It's a relatively new method for college, but there's some crowdfunding sites out there, believe it or not. You have work-study programs. Take advantage of those. Also, with your employer, if you have that after-school job or whatever it may be, there's a lot of companies that have like a reimbursement for education, but then not only that, but then work-study programs at the school itself that help you earn some money while you're going through school. And that's the other thing you can do to help go through school is just make some money. Hey, it's okay to work while you go through school. In fact, statistics suggest that the student who is working about 10 to 12 hours a week, in addition to going to school, have higher GPAs than those who do not work. Another suggestion would be to consider attending college in-state. Man, out-of-state tuition is ridiculous, akin to private school tuition. And on average, public school in-state tuition is about a third of the cost of their out-of-state public schools and about a fourth of the cost of out-of-state or in-state private schools. Do some research. Look for the major you're going for and then find the institution that has the cheapest tuition. Sometimes I think we feel like the biggest factor in getting a job after school is based on the name of the college or university I graduated from while I was attending school. But what research tells us is that it has more to do with my program of study. Listen, it's going to be harder for you to find work if your degree is in medieval weaponry versus if you have a business degree. Get a degree that's marketable, not one that is more of a hobby than it is a vocation. Another great opportunity to save money on college is to attend your local community college for those general education classes, the basic histories and Englishes and sciences, essentially almost those first 2 years where you're getting your prereqs out of the way. You can have a substantially reduced cost by attending that local community college, transfer into the in-state public school you want to go to finish out your degree, to get that diploma with that nice state college title on there. But you've done so at a fraction of the cost, setting yourself up for success right out of the gate. Listen, student loan debt can be avoided. It's up to you. It's definitely possible. It takes intensity, takes effort, Takes a little bit of forethought, but it's definitely possible. Debt is our enemy. We need to avoid it at all costs, even when it seems like everybody's doing it or it's just the norm with student loan debt, which is what it looks like right now. Everybody just thinks, oh, that's how I'm going to have to pay for college. Well, that's a myth. The truth is, if you put some intensity into it, you can go to school debt-free.
Loved this episode of the Fiscally Fit Podcast? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.